Hello, everybody. How are you doing today? Today is October 4th. Cannot believe we're already in October. And my name is Colleen Magnus, and today you are Creating with Colleen. So I come to you live every Wednesday at noon Eastern Time. I'm on the East Coast in Chesapeake, Virginia. I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I love to teach. Now, I'm just going to start saying this for every video because it's so true. I will teach you what to do. I may teach you what not to do. That happens a lot. But I promise to teach you something. And I always say it's never a mistake if you learn from it. So today I am going to be sharing with you a gorgeous bundle. It is on page 16 and 17 of the catalog called Night Divine. Now the entire suite is called Oh Holy Night. So I'll touch on that for a little bit. But this is a card that you could leave out all year long as far as I'm concerned. It's a beautiful tea light card. I think you're going to like it. But I have to say, it has been a great week. I have been creating like crazy in the stamp room because this coming Saturday is World Card Making Day. So we are doing, myself and 3 other demonstrators who have done this for a couple years, we are having a World Card Making Day stamping event that will be pretty much all day. It's going to be a great time. We will be playing bingo. We are stamping, oh my goodness, they're stamping 8 projects. So that'll be fun. It's a potluck, so the food is always great. And that's what I've been preparing for. So the 4 of us demonstrators, we have cut almost 100 projects. We are also making display boards. And I'll share a lot of that with you next week. But we all picked a suite, 1 suite to create with, 1 suite to put on display. And it's just been fun. Just in the stamp room playing. It kind of looks like it. It's a little bit of everything everywhere, but that's how I gauge my creativity. Somebody once said, creating is very messy. So let's just say I'm very creative, but it's great. So no hiccups so far on YouTube. I did find out a lot of other people were having the same problem. So it was not operator error. It was just an easy fix that when you have something like YouTube or even Facebook is doing it, they change something on you and they don't tell you. They just kind of throw you in the loop and let you figure it out. But we are good. We are horizontal. I am going to boot up here and welcome everybody on, and we're going to create. So y'all just hold on as I turn you around. All righty, let me put you back in here. Sorry that's always so crazy when I do that, but that's the way I do it. So, anyways, Judith is here. Hey, hello. I have a good morning and a good afternoon. I think we're right on the verge of it. Hey, Kathy, glad you're here. And Josie, you too. So real quick, one of the things I forgot to tell you about, and I'll tell you a little bit more, is we are celebrating 35 years with Stampin' Up. You saw my sloppy notes? Yep, that's it. I actually hit my anniversary, 22 years with Stampin' Up on Sunday, on October 1st. And I got to tell you, it's been a good ride. It is an amazing company, and it's been fun to create. It's been fun to do this as my career, and it takes a lot of work, but most of the demonstrators with Stampin' Up are hobbyists because you can just join to save on your supplies. And that's how I started, but then I realized I love to teach, so here I am. Also, as a disclaimer, let me put it in there so I don't get in trouble, less than 1% of the people, the demonstrators with Stampin' Up, do it as a career. You know, again, it's a great hobby. So for this month, they are offering 35% off because they're celebrating 35 years. So you can select $125 in product and only pay $64.35, which is phenomenal. Or you can get 35% more. So you would select $168.75 in product and only pay $99. And the great thing is we get to pre-order, and we have some great online exclusive products that you can pre-order and put in this kit. Everybody else has to wait till November 7th. So if you're interested in that, contact me, let me know. If you would like to join and get your starter kit, just go to creatingwithcolleen.com and you can join there, and you can also request my newsletter because all of this information will be going out in a newsletter. So Lynn, I am glad you're here, and I hope you are healing well, and I'll see you Saturday. And Gwen, welcome. Bren. Okay, this here is the Night Divine bundle. The entire suite is called Oh Holy Night, but this was my first pick when this came out. So basically what I'm going to share with you, these are the dies that you have right here. And of course you have your sayings. And this is just a beautiful bundle. And so many things are being made with it. I'm going to share towards the end. I did a sampler. So you have framed art and just a few other cards that you can get some ideas from. And this is what I have been doing my display board with. So lots and lots of fun. Now today what I want to show you is an easel card made into a tea light card. So it's kind of hard to show you because it actually sits up like this, but it is an easel card. You see my screen, how you could see it. So it's like this, but the very cool thing is you just go get these little tea lights. It used to be from the dollar store. Now it's from the $1.25 store, but they are inexpensive. And then when you, let me see if you can see that. When you have this on here, let me see. It works great, especially when it's dark. You have the glow right down here over the baby Jesus. So here you have this, and this is what I want to show you how to make. I think they make great gifts, and I also think it's something that you can leave out all year long. Now the trick in this is going to be in the cutting. And I want to just tell you right now, when you are cutting, you know, I'm not great at upselling. You could use your Night of Navy cardstock or whatever color, but a lot of times I just get a cheap white cardstock. And that's where I do a lot of my cutting. I do a lot of my measuring, that type thing. So I'm not, you know, cutting my good stuff. I wait till I get all the bugs worked out, and then I go from there. So what you are going to need, this is a 4 1/4 by 11 inch card base. I've scored it at 5.5 and 8.5 inches, and then I'm going to cut it. I put the cutting measurements on here so you could take a screenshot, but I'm going to show you and actually cut the pieces for you. You will need a piece of 4 1/4 by 5.5 inch Night of Navy. And then there's the cut measurements, which we'll go through. You need a piece of 4 by 5 1/4 inch piece of basic white. You will need a 2 by 4 inch piece of Oh Holy Night Designer Series paper. 1 3/4 by 2 inch piece of basic white. Bren, you writing all this down? A 1 7/8 inch by 2 1/8 inch gold foil specialty paper. And here, I love cardstock vellum. There's so many different things you can do with it. But this is a 3.5 inch by 3/4 inch piece of cardstock vellum. So let me put that there. And if y'all need to, you can take a screenshot and you have that. I have also taken a picture, and I will put that over on my Creating with Colleen Magnus Facebook page, so you can see the measurements there. So first thing we're going to do is cut the front. So I'm taking this piece of 4 1/4 by the 5.5 and my cutter right here. This cutter is great for cutting out, you know, guillotine cutter, you can't do that. You have to have a cutter where you can measure and cut out the centers. Now, one of the things I've done, I've showed you before, but in case anybody new is watching, I like to give you lots of tips and tricks. So what I did is on my cutter, see how it is white underneath my letters? That's really a clear tray on here, and I had trouble seeing the numbers. So I took my tear and tape adhesive. It's a great adhesive by Stampin Up. And basically what it is, it's just that. It's a real sticky tape, which is great for doing your 3D items. And you would peel this off, put it on your item, pull this off, and then the white piece comes off. So it's just a thin, clear piece of tape. Well, what I did is I ran it underneath my numbers, and I just didn't take the white off. So basically I have a nice white backing under my numbers, and it makes it easier to see. So y'all can thank me for that tip later, especially if you're over 40. I really believe, I think it was 40 in one day, the near vision started going. I always needed contacts for my distance because I was drafting on a board, always focusing on what was in front of me. but that's one of the gifts you get at 40. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I am going to cut this. When I cut here, it's you can't see it as well on the back of this, but I'm cutting this square out. So when I cut it, I am going to do 5/8 inch on each side, and then 1 3/8 inch from the top, and then 3/4 inches from the bottom. So you have measurements here and here, and that's what's going to give you the guide to cutting this. So I know it's going to cut 5 inches on the side. I like to cut my sides first. So I come over here to 5/8 of an inch, and y'all, basically that's a 1/2 inch plus another 1/8. And so now I've got it, the distance here well, but what I need is the up and down. So I know it's going to be 1 3/8 inch from the top and 3/4 from the bottom, which put that about 4 3/4. So I will come up here to about 1 3/8, 1 2 3, and I'm going to come down 3/4 from the bottom, which is at the 4 3/4 mark, because this whole piece is 5 1/2. I'm going to flip it over, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to put this here at 5/8 inch, put it down. I'm going to go to about a 1 3/8, and I'm going to come down to 4 3/4, because that'll give me 3/4 from the bottom. So my sides are cut. Now from here, I know I want it 1 3/8 inch from the top, 1 3/8 inch from the top, so that should be about that, 3/4 from the bottom. So with the smaller section here, I put that on 3/4, and I can pretty much just go from cut line to cut line. And if I'm not exactly touching it, no problem, I can always snip it with the scissors. Now this part, when I do anything under an inch, I measure on the right. When it's over an inch, I measure on the left. So for here, I need 1 3/8 from the top. So I go 1 and 1, 2, 3. 1 3/8 inch from the top. And then when I cut this here is my front piece. And again, remember, you can take, you know, scrap paper and do this first. That's kind of what I did. So yes, Gwen, this was a lifesaver. Doing that was a lifesaver. So here's my top piece. Now I have to cut my bottom piece. So this is 4 1/4 by 11, and it's scored at 5 1/2 and 8 1/2. Basically, the way an easel card works is you would have it folded in half like a regular card, and then this piece folds up. So I'm thinking, great, I can make this card and I can put this on here, but what happens is I can't. Because if I just do it as a standard easel card, if this was a full card front, you know, like this, I would just put this on here, it folds flat, it comes up. Great easel card. But I can't because I have a window that I'm looking through. So that's why I had to cut this center piece out. So when I first did it, my thought process was, well, for this piece here, I'll just cut this whole piece out, which I thought would be great. Let me get my little baby Jesuses here. Let me show you. Okay. I was thinking that would work, but what happened was, when I took this and I put it down here, I didn't realize all the space that I would have at the top. So this was when I did the first one. I didn't want that much space at the top. So since it already cut some, because my stamp club in Virginia Beach made this, what I had to do was I took, because this was the whole piece of the back on the base, I had to take another piece of, not a navy, a piece that I cut out and kind of put it in the back so that I can make them higher. So since I have done that, I'm going to give you the way to cut it so this is higher, so you don't have to piece anything together. I just kind of wanted to show you how I got to this point. I also wanted to give you tip number 2, which I think is a great tip. Don't make or cut something, a bunch of them, until you make one all the way through. It took me doing this with my stamp club to realize that there's a better way. So when I do this with my other club, they'll have the better version. We had one time, oh my goodness, it was years ago, and I was making about 30 ornaments for my club members, and I was mass producing. Never put the first one together. Mass producing, did this gold foil pen all over it. I did not like these ornaments at all when I got done. First of all the gold foil was coming off. I should have waited to put that on there. The adhesive I was using, I did not care for. That was a trouble, and it was all I could do to get through them. So if I had made one all the way through, I would have learned everything I needed to do and not to do. So keep that in mind, you know, when you're mass producing things. So the way I'm going to cut this now, this is for my card base. You have the scored section here. That's the part I'm cutting because I have to cut that square out. But what I'm doing is I'm cutting it higher than the original base so I don't have to put that piece in there. So I'm cutting, again, the scored edge. So I'm going to do a 1/2 inch from the side because I want it to be slightly behind this. I don't want anything sticking out. So I'm going to come over here to my 1/2 inch. I've got it marked on this side. And I'm going to cut 1.5 inch. This is my bottom now. So I am going to cut 1.5 inches from the bottom to the 4-inch mark. So I got this on the 1/2 inch. I come over and look at the side. And I'm going to cut 1.5 up to 4. So I've got that. I'm going to flip it, put it on my 1/2 inch mark over here, and I'm going to do that again. I'm going to cut from the 1.5 to the 4. So I have my sides cut. So now I am going to cut, remember, it's 1.5 inches from the bottom to the 4. So it's going to line up really good. So since it's bigger, I'm coming on this side, take my end, this is a scored end, 1.5 inches from the bottom, cut that, move it down to 4 inches. Okay, my little scoring blade keeps getting in the way. And I've cut that. So now I don't have to add, let me get my scissors and just trim this. There we go. Now I don't have to add that piece to make it higher. When I take my little group here and put them on here, it's going to be the height that I want without so much distance at the top. So let me get my bone folder. So that, it's easier after you do the first one, trust me, but it's really not hard. I hope my instructions are easy to follow. So here you have your base and you have the front, okay? So take a picture of that and you'll see how I cut it. So first I'm going to decorate the front. On here I'm going to take my stable. Again, I love the dies. These dies were awesome. And I'm going to put some liquid glue on here because this is going to go and cover that cut like I have right there. So I'm just going to take and put some little bit of liquid glue here. Very thin, y'all. You don't want it squeezing out the end. Oh, I picked up my one that's almost done. Oh, got another one right here. So I'll come on this side. I'm going to come down the legs a little bit there. Right here. I don't have to worry about these pieces because they stick out in the opening. So when I have this on here, I like to straighten up the top first. All right, and if you want, these lines, these grid lines are messing me up here. I should have had a straight piece. Here we go. And then I make sure, once I have this pushed down, pull your legs down to make sure they're straight because they can move in and out. And then push it where you want it. Okay. So the other thing I'm going to do is I have this here. This is the Very Best Trio Punch. I used this once before, And if you punch it one way, it's one design. Let me see if I can show you real quick on my scrap piece. So if I put it in from this angle, it kind of curves in, and that's on the top. If I put it in from this angle, let me see. I think it's this one. Got the same one. I knew there was a way. Here we go. You can see the two. See how it's curved and then it kind of comes out? Well, this one comes out and then it's curved. So the way you want look at it is look at your punch. If you want the curve on the top, which I do, then I'm going to punch it from this direction. If I want the concave kind of loop going up, then I would punch it from this direction. Slowly I am mastering this punch. Okay, so here I want my curve on the top. So I'm going to come in this way. And you just make sure, see how it's mitered edges there? Come in here, miter your edge, and push straight down. If you kind of go sideways, it doesn't want to do it. Push straight down and it's very easy. So I have that to get the, it's a mirrored image, y'all. Flip it, okay? And then do the same thing. And that is how you are going to get the same at the top. It's a great punch. It's really a two-corner punch and then a slot if you want to slide ribbon through. This is your mitered corners and that's your decorative corners. So now that I have this, I'm going to take my 3.5 by 3 3/4 inch piece of vellum cardstock and I'm going to put it on here. So I will take my adhesive. I don't know where my, would have been great for this, my adhesive mat. Kind of like on the edge. Don't need but so much. And then I'll put my vellum on here. Just line that up. And push it down really well. And as y'all can see, there's always a trick with vellum. It's tricky because you can see through it. So that really makes it kind of difficult when you're doing it. Okay, so I have this part here and I'm going to wait to decorate it until I get it on my card base. Now, as I said, for my card base, I have it up higher. So that's going to really work in my favor because this is going to go in like that. And then I have the height for the window here. So what I'll do here, again, I'm just going to, I kind of put a little bit of a strip here. And the Stampin' Seal is really, really strong, which I love. But I put it on the inside because I don't want it to be seen on that vellum. So I'll put these here. And in addition to that, I don't really want that stickiness. So you want to get an adhesive remover. This little guy here has saved many, many cards. We used to sell them, we don't, but it's not exclusive to Stampin' Up. So get yourself an adhesive remover. And you don't want to go back and forth. A lot of people want to do that, but you're like picking it up is what you're doing. You're picking up that gummy. So I'm just going to come in here and pick it up. And then I don't have to worry about any sticky there. But yet I have them where I need them. And there might be just a little bit there. So let me grab that too. Come off there. All right. Because keep in mind, that's where that you're going to see that vellum. Alrighty. So for here, let me do just a quick inside. Take your 4 by 5 1/4 basic white, 2 by 4 inch piece of Oh Holy Night. And whenever I have something I might have to slide around, I do like the liquid glue for that. Don't know what that is, so turn it around. All right. I like to make sure it's even there. And I'm not seeing any white. And then I can take this and put it on the inside. I think that'll kind of make it easier for you to see through the window too of what I'm doing. So what are y'all thinking? Have you ever done anything like this before? give a shout out. It's really a basic easel card. But again, when I saw this, I just knew I had to do it as a tea light. So I'll put that there. So for the front, I'm going to put this, and then you'll see when those are up there. So basically, when I go to tape this, you don't want to go all the way up. You want to go to the score line like this, and don't put your glue here because it's going to hit that vellum. So you can come down the sides and then just put it across the bottom here, and then at that point you can pretty much close it and do it as a card like that. So let me get this. Let me get a nice score line. I know the drafter in me is coming out. Okay. So I'm going to put my adhesive down the side like this. Thank you, Kathy. Kathy, you have one of the ones that was done the original way. If you plan on redoing this, use these measurements here so you don't have to put that piece in there. But this will go on here. And again, you can kind of fold it and make sure it's on there. And then that's how your easel card starts, like that. So here, you have to have something that's going to hold this up, like that. So you want to take that 1 3/4 by 2 inch piece of basic white. And then I just went a little bit bigger, the 1 7/8 by 2 1/8 inch foil. So here I've got my Night of Navy. It's really hard. I'll show you, I'll be demonstrating some cards with this again, but I have to admit it's really hard to create with other cards a Night of Navy with this. I've been giving it a good go because the paper just lends itself, of course it's navy and white, to these colors. But let's face it, Night of Navy is gorgeous. So let me see. Thank you all. Thanks for your kind words. It was fun. The minute I saw this, I knew this was what I wanted to do with it, if nothing else. So I have Glory to God in the Highest. And then I'm going to take dimensionals. And I'm going to put one on each corner because this is what's going to be popped up to hold that card, to hold the front. All right. And this, you can pretty much just center it right here in the middle, from left to right, top, bottom. Because when this gets folded over, that is what will hold your card. So now to decorate the front, we have to have our little, I don't know, my thing. I normally tape it down. It's moving all over. Gotta have your little barnyard animals. Oh, thank you, Deborah. I always try to give tips and tricks because that's just experience talking. You know, I don't know about y'all, but I learned the hard way. I just always say it's not a mistake as long as I learn from it. Something I've always told my kids too. Okay. So here, I've got a copper clay little animal. I think that's a goat. I have the white sheep. And I have, let me check mine. I want to give you the right pebbled path. I did my donkey out of pebbled path. So I'll just take the donkey, put a little of my adhesive. I'm going to put my donkey over here. Let me see, I can go up a little bit, or I can go down a little bit. I'm going to go down a little bit. Now I'm going to pop him up a little bit because I liked that better. I just thought, y'all can tell me, I just thought it looked a little funny having the sheep standing. It's like he's checking everything out too much. They're not just hanging out, you know, just chilling. So I'm going to snip his legs off. I always think it hurts them, but then I just have to remind myself it really is just cardstock, and it's quick and it's sharp with a pair of paper snips, so I think he's okay. So now look, now he's laying down like the rest of them. Good little sheep. So I'll put my sheep here. And of course I won't push it down till I want it. And then here, I will take this little guy. Thank you, Deborah. Deborah says she learns the hard way too. Hey, experience is a great teacher. I am definitely convinced of that. And then I'll take this little guy. and I have them popped up. So there's my animals. Now, I got to show you, I just got this in. This was non-orderable, and it came in, and the minute it did, I had to close everything out. So this is the Stars at Night. This is all part of the suite. So you could get everything in one with one number if you want the whole kit and caboodle. But here's the Stars at Night stamp set. I'm now creating with that. It has an embossing folder. That's a hybrid folder. So it actually cuts and embosses at the same time. That is to come. I was playing with it this morning. And then these are the dies. So I think the dies are just gorgeous, and they go so great with the Night Divine bundle. So I always say, oh, I don't need it all. And then, you know, I end up not getting it all. And guess what? I am wrong like almost every time. And I got to get it anyways. So I'm glad I did. So at the top of the staple, I'm just putting a little bit of liquid glue. And I've cut out one of those stars from the star bundle. From the Stars at Night bundle. I'm going to put it here, give it just a second to dry. Now let me tell you about these little guys. These little guys are hot, hot, hot. They come in two sizes. You have a large star and a small star, and they are called adhesive back star trinkets. I had a dilemma today when I went to show you this. I really like to have everything in stock when I do a video, but we don't live in a perfect world. Sadly, we don't, so we just have to roll with it and make the best of it. I was going to show you the Berry Christmas items, but some of those items are unavailable. Well, these here are unavailable, but you're in luck. I have 2 packs. So what I am doing for the month of October is anybody who places an order, you can go to creatingwithcolleen.com and shop now, but anybody who places any size order and uses this host code, you must use this host code. I will do a drawing at the end of the month, and I will mail you, I'll draw 2 names, and I'll mail you a pack of the stars, just to get you going. Now, thankfully, everything is coming back, but let me just show you really quick in this suite. The star trinkets, they will not be back till the week of November 13th. Sometimes they come sooner. I think it's like when you go to a restaurant and they tell you, oh, it's 30 minutes, and it's really only 20. You think how great it is. Some of these things have been coming back sooner. For example, this one here, this bundle wasn't supposed to be in until, I think it was this week, and I got it a week and a half ago. So I will keep you posted as we go. But the trinkets are unavailable right now, available the week of November 13th. The navy glitter ribbon, it will be available the week of October 23rd. And then the beautiful gold foil paper that I used will be available the week of October 16th. So don't fret. We still have time before Christmas. I'm not one of those who rushes it. But again, I'll do a drawing for any size order for 2 of the pieces that we have there to get you going. Thankfully, I ordered extras. I just knew I needed to. So I will take here, just use my fingers. And I like how all these little stars layer with each other too. So I have this, if you can see that. It opens up into your easel card. Let me see here. Opens up into your easel card. Get your little tea lights from the $1.25 store. You get a couple in a pack. And I don't know if this would help or not. I can't reach my other light, but maybe you can kind of see how that is. Let me watch my screen. It's really, really pretty in the dark, y'all. I think you will love it. Here, you can see it a little bit. So that is your easel nativity card. A lot of fun. I think it makes a great gift, and you have time to be working on it. And just incidentally, some of you have ordered this month already. I just created this host code today, so I will honor your order. Your name will be put in for the drawing. And I will keep this open through the whole month of October. So what do y'all think? Did you like it? Let me show you a couple other things. This paper, now this paper is available. It is down at the bottom here. And on page 15, this is called the Oh Holy Night. And this is what makes creating with this suite so much fun. is the designer paper. I mean, Stampin' Up! Has been rocking their designer paper for years now. And so it makes it easy to create. You have an entire background scenery here. Here's another one. Here's another one. Oh, and I love these colors. This sheet goes so good with copper clay and pebbled path. But I'm going to leave you hanging because some of you are coming to the World Card Making Day event, and I don't want to spoil the surprise for you. But we have a starry background. This here, different one, different blues. And then just a really cool ombre right there. So for one of my samples, I created a 9x9, I'd call it a sampler, but it's pretty much a framed art. And I just think it was so easy to create with. So the stars are brightly shining. And on this star, I don't know if you could see it, I took 2 of the stars from the bundle. I did one in the distressed gold, then the shiny gold, and then the trinket in the middle. But this I am going to be setting out, and it may be something that goes up, but I doubt it will. I really do like seeing the nativity throughout the house. So this was one. And then my dear friend in Upline, Melissa Ellis, she created this card, and I thought it was adorable. She's very talented. I love stamping with her. I am blessed that I am underneath her. She's actually my grandma. She's my second upline. But she created this card. And then another dear friend, Amy Wilson, we roomed together at Backstage, a real sweetheart in Carolina. She did this card with the words. So you're going to see a lot with this. I absolutely love it. That's on the inside. But I am just happy to be creating with it. And I'm going to continue to create this afternoon, right after I have lunch. So I hope y'all enjoyed it today. Don't forget about that starter kit special. Please contact me if you have any questions at all. I think some people are afraid that they have to create or they have to have parties. All you have to do is like nothing. You can take advantage of the starter kit and do nothing. Or you can actually save. You would save at least 20% on everything that you purchase for yourself once you have the starter kit and join Stampin' Up. And I'm here to help you with every single bit of it. So God bless you all. Kathy, I'm so glad you liked it. Gwen, Bren, Renee. Oh, Renee, you popped in on me. How are you doing? Deborah, thank you so much for being here. And thank you all for your kind words. Lynn, Diane, I hope I'm not missing anybody. But thank you. I appreciate your support. And if there's ever anything I could do for you, let me know. And you can go to creatingwithcolleen.com to get all you need, from the newsletters to joining to ordering. So I love you all, and I will see you next Wednesday on October 11th when we create together again. And all of you have a wonderful World Card Making Day this Saturday. I challenge you to make cards and send at least 3 to someone you know. Brighten their day. All right, y'all. Take care. Have a good one. And I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.